Okay. Good morning, everyone. Good morning, good morning, or good afternoon from your end. While we wait for others to join, as the link has been shared, please, we just have to wait a little. Thank you. While others join, let me briefly tell you about Hamplus Hub. Hamplus Hub is a place or a center for research, for education, for agile coding, for collaboration, for training, and for development. Hamplus Hub is being known for its frequent or periodic free programs, free workshops, and these workshops are done to better the lives of humans and also to get contributions from people to know how far they have gone in the journey of tech. Okay? So, Hamplus Hub is located in Nigeria. When you come down to Nigeria, you go down to Delta State, then further down to the place called Abraka. Though it is located in Abraka, but it is not limited to her location. Hamplus Hub is just barely 2 years. November 17th, it will be completing 2 years. We've been doing some tech programs. Our goal is just to educate and to bless lives. Okay, thanks once more to Python Software Foundation. Our program this year was sponsored by them. The program Python, the New Normal, which was the first in Abraka, was sponsored by Python Software Foundation. Send our appreciation to you. As well, those that want us to continue in this can as well throw in their hands of sponsorship so that tech can go far. Tech is the new oil, and everyone has to be involved in tech because the world is fast changing, and tech is quickly aiding the change in the world. Okay, in this program we will look at the fundamentals of machine learning, and in such manner we'll initially start, because we always consider in all our programs that all the attendees or participants are not professionals. While some are more professional, some know more than we may know, or know some things that we don't know. Others are upcoming. So we always start from the foundation, give a little introduction, then we proceed to the business of the workshop. Hence, in this workshop, we will gladly start from Python, teaching about Python, knowing few things about Python, and this is because Python is the programming language that will be used for machine learning that we will use in this workshop. There are other programming languages that can be used, but of the truth I tell you, I prefer using Python for machine learning, and that is what is basically used or mostly used, Python for machine learning. So in this way, we'll proceed to the basis of data science. This is because machine learning cannot actually and properly take place without the peripherals of data science. That is, one has to understand or know the basis of data science. Hence, we look at the basis of data science. Yes, we did a workshop. I think that was in the month of May, if I can remember vividly, on data analysis. So if you would like more of the data science aspects, you can quickly go to our videos, then you watch the data science videos. As we'll give a little intro here and we'll proceed. Okay, so in that data science we'll discuss about data cleaning, data preparation. First we'll look at gathering the data, how we can get our data, then how we can clean the data, then how we can prepare the data. Because once you want to, your goal is to train, let me take for example, you want to develop a model for prediction of weights, or body mass index. With you will first and foremost have to collect your data. Either you use an existing data set or you conduct your own experiments and get your data. You have to get your data. After getting your data, you have to clean your data. What is data cleaning? Data cleaning is taking away the outliners, taking away the null values, taking away the imbalance in your data sets. When you take them away, then you have a clean data. When you take out the null values, the inappropriate data types, you do the data type casting, you have a clean data. And in that clean data, when used when used to train your model, you have a better model. But using an unclean data for training of any model, it gives you a faulty model, because those uncleanliness, those imbalance, those outliners have been learned by the model. So it will take it for future prediction. Now, what is machine learning? Now, we have the conventional way of programming, which is to every input there must be an output. Yes, in machine learning we also do that, but just at the first stage, that we give it an input and it gives us an output. But after the machine has been trained, the model has been trained, you don't have to pass through the primary stage of data gathering and every other processes. You just have to use the trained model, then you make your calculations, you make your prediction. So it's the ability for a model, for a machine to learn and increase its performance based on its experience. So the more I use my model, the more my machine will learn. That is machine learning. And in machine learning, there are lots of algorithms. There are lots of algorithms. There are a lot of ways you can apply those algorithms. However, in this workshop, we will be using scikit-learn to teach machine learning, to teach linear regression, to teach logistic regression, and to teach other machine learning algorithms like the naive Bayes, the support vector machine, the decision tree, the random forest. We will see how we can apply these algorithms in these 5 days training. Please, if you have any comments, you can drop your comments. If you have any questions, you can drop your comments. We'll get back to you. You can as well contact us on our social media handle using any of our social media handles. Using any of our social media handles, you contact us, then we will actually communicate with you and get to know more. Okay, so let me quickly tell you my journey in data science and machine learning. I actually started my journey in data science machine learning from World Quant University. I started my journey from World Quant University. Then also I proceeded to Data Science Nigeria, now known as Data Scientists Network. After my journey, my experience with Data Science Nigeria, I proceeded to Global AI Hub to learn more on machine learning. And I am still learning machine learning. A learning is a continuous process. It's a continuous process. So presently I am also engaged in data science lab from What Point University. I'm presently going through the training and I've done some of the projects there. Okay, so briefly we've just introduced some machine learning algorithms. We've been talking about machine learning. We briefly show you a file. All credits in this file goes to Global AI Hub. All credit goes to them. I downloaded this from the GitHub repository of Global AI Hub. You see the workflow of information flow within the AI module. It starts from define business question. And a good example is, can we predict the rate of diabetes in a particular location? Or can we predict the possibility of a patient, an individual, being diabetic? Can we predict the rate at which there is mortality in a nation? Those are questions. Or can we look at the rate at which a product is patronized, is bought? Those are questions. First, there must be a definition of a question that is a problem. There must be a problem, and the quest for that problem will make one look for a data set. Either he or she conducts his experiments and get the needed data sets and develop the needed data sets, or he used an existing data set for the model building. For example, I want to predict, or I want to develop a model that can predict the rate of crime in a country. I can simply go to the statistics bureau of the country, and if there is a crime statistics, I use that. As I can look for a data set from repositories like Kaggle, data.gov, and some other repositories. I look for data sets, and from the data sets, a data set actually on crime, and from the data sets, I'll be able to use that. If it matches what I want, if the features matches what I seek for, I'll use it for my model training. Okay, after I've gotten my data, because data is very, very important. Without data, there is no machine learning. Without data, there is no machine learning. Without data, there is no data analytics. So it starts from data. So after you've gotten your data set, you've imported it into your Jupyter Notebook. Either you're using Jupyter Notebook or you're using Google Colab, then what you have to do, you have to exploit the data, perform your EDA, exploratory data analysis, whereby you look for the null values, you look for the data type, you perform some kind of EDA to ensure that your data is not having outliners, it does not have wrong values. So that's what you do. After doing that, you can visualize, because at times some of these EDA are better understood, especially to non-technical, non-techie people, through visualization. After your EDA, then you can perform data pre-processing. Now, what's data pre-processing? I found out some outliners, I find out some wrong values or wrong entry, inappropriate entry in my data set. I deal with them. After dealing with them, then I have to split my data sets. Some don't split their data sets into testing and training. Some also split their data sets into testing, training, into training, testing, and validation. So these are two ways you can split your data sets. The conventional way is testing, training, and testing. So after that is done, you use your training data to train your model, to build your model. After building your model, then you deploy your model. Now, after the model has been built, that's been tested with the testing data, you deploy your model, you do your model managing and prediction. Deployment of your model is simply akin, because when you want to do your prediction or want to make use of a model, you are not going to open your Jupyter notebook or your Google Colab and start afresh, but you just simply use the interface, either the web interface, to do what you want. Then you evaluate your results. So you can see the steps. You can see the steps. Once again, all credits to this notebook previously being used is given to Global AI Hub. I actually did training with them, several trainings. This is one of the materials I got. So in an extension, since they blessed the hub, we are also blessing people that will come in contact with this video. Now get this now. Information gathering, you have to gather the information after the problem definition, which is that business, define a business question. After you've defined your problem, you gather your data. And the quality and quantity of data that you gather will directly determine how good your model will be. The quantity and the quality of data you gather determines how good your model will be, because your model is learning from your data. So if you give it more experiences, more data, more observation, more things to learn, it will learn better than when you give it few things. Get that clear? Then preparing the data preparation, you load your data into a suitable place and prepare it for use in your machine learning training. You have to prepare your data. This is what I said about. You have to do your EDA. Under data preparation, you do your EDA. You check for critical process is a critical process to spot anomalies, to test hypotheses, and to check assumptions. You use this a lot. And in your EDA, you can get your visualization. So just to interpret and do a lot of things. Good. Data pre-processing, I made it clear to you that after you've gotten your EDA, you've done your EDA, and from your EDA you found some imbalanced data, you found some duplicate values, you found some you found some outliners. Please, you take those things away. In the case of duplicate values, you do away with them, you remove the duplicates. In the case of imbalanced data, you balance it. You balance your data. You have underfit. You have an algorithm that you use to balance your data. So you balance your data. You don't make it to be unbalanced, imbalanced. Don't make your data set to be imbalanced, but make it to be a balanced data. Now it eliminates the missing values. And when you have null values, you can use your discretion. You can use your discretion. Either you totally eliminate them. Eliminating your null values will reduce the size of your data. So what you have to do, you can either use you can either fill your null value using the mean, the strategy of mean or media to fill it. This goes especially when your null value is numeric. When it is numeric, you use either mean or media. And to check for null values, you use is null. Is null dot sum. You will get to know this function. It will give you the total sum of null values. Now, null value, when you use is null, is a boolean value that you have 5 null values, which you can either drop them or you can either fill them. Good. So, good. Remember, I've been saying outliners. You have to take away outliners. And one of the good ways for you to determine your outliner is using a box plot. It's using a box plot. You determine your outliners. Good. When you have a negative skew or a positive skew, then you know that there's an outliner and you have to balance it up. Okay. Now this is, let's proceed to feature scaling. Good. You have to perform your feature scaling whereby you can standardize. Many a times we use standardization for feature scaling so that our features will properly scale. We will not have a feature that have different data type. So it will perform, it will ensure that everything is within a range. That's feature scaling. It scales it and balances it very well. Okay. Now this is bucketing or binning. The data binning or bucketing is a data pre-processing method used to minimize the effect of small observation error. That is to take away noise. Noisy data. You have to deal with those noisy data. Now look at this. Feature extraction. Either use your PCA, principal component analysis, ICA, independent component analysis, NDA, linear discriminant analysis. Most of the times, and I've used PCA a lot. PCA is very good. PCA is very good. Okay. Now you see feature encoding. When we want to predict, when we have a data set like this, we should note that in our data training, our features cannot be in categorical. That is when they are in string. It can't be in string, but we can do the encoding. In the data set, they will be categorical, but we cannot feed the categorical variables into the model. The model understands numeric. Most model, like linear regression is numeric. So you have to do your label encoding, or you call it feature encoding. You encode your features to make the model better. So you have one hot encoding. You say, okay, we have the nominal data, we have ordinal data. Any one-to-one mapping can be done which retains the meaning. For example, a permutation of values like in one hot encoding. Good. That is your feature encoding, or you call it label encoding. Now, the last step of that pre-processing, you have to train, validate, and test. Remember I said it, train, validate, test. Why some they just do train and test. If you see the first bullet here, does 60, 20, 20%. 60% of the data set for training, 20% to validate, and 20% to test. Once you validated, please, you cannot retrain your model, just proceed. So the training process is where you apply all your hyperparameter tuning before you test or you validate. Once tested, don't go back to training. It is a wrong approach to go back to training. Okay, so this is just a diagrammatic representation of the training and testing. Okay, so we can proceed to cross validation. After you've trained, you can validate to know how good and to get your final evaluation. It is very important you perform your cross validation. It is very important you perform the steps, you follow the steps in this way. You gather your data, you prepare your data, you choose your model, you train, you evaluate, you hyperparameter tune, then you predict. You follow it this way. So in this notebook, we've just simply showed us how we can actually do, how we can actually follow that's the workflow of machine learning. The workflow of machine learning. Okay, this is the workflow. I made some statements, and I would just like to show you those statements. The first one, I made us to understand that if we have, okay, let me go by this process. For those that are new, this is your Jupyter notebook. You have to install your Jupyter. If you don't have it on your system, you can go to Google and search for download Jupyter. It will show you the link. Either you download it alone or you download it from Anaconda. Once it's downloaded, you open it. In the process of opening, you will have a console environment being shown. Please do not close that console environment. Allow it and leave it. When it is done, your Jupyter notebook will be open in your default browser. It is a web application. It will open in your default browser. And once it's open, you have an interface like this, showing you your files and folders. You can see a lot of files here. A lot of folders. Then you just simply click on new, then you click on Python 3. You click on new, you click on Python 3. Then it will open a notebook for you with the title Untitled, with the default title Untitled. In a situation like that, all you have to do, sorry for that, all you have to do is simply just to rename the book, then you proceed. with what we want to do. But for today, we are not going to do anything, we are not going to talk anything on data or machine learning, and I think we're not going to talk anything on data science. We'll just do a basic preview on Python. So let me call it, the notebook is Fundamental of Machine Learning, FML. Okay, this is the one. So I told you that in Python sees true as positive and sees false as negative. So we have this, let me call this true plus true. I'll use my shift and enter, or control and enter, or alternate and enter. Let me tell you the difference. When I use control and enter, it runs the cells and remain in the cell. When I use shift and enter, that is control. For those that are using Mac, is command enter. When I use shift and enter, it runs the cell and creates a cell beneath the run cell, between the cell that has been run, sorry. Then when I use alternate enter, maybe there's an existing cell between the cell I'm running and it will run the cell and create a cell between the cell I'm running and the previous existing cell. So I'll use shift and enter. You get this. So true plus true is 2. Then when I write false plus false, it gives me what? 0. Okay, now the concept is I cannot be using true, false always. I can simply store it in a variable, and a variable is a temporal solid location. I can do this is valid equals true. Then is invalid is valid because to true. Let me just leave it this way. Then I do what? I have my sum, my total equals to 4 multiply is valid. Then I will have the answer as 4. Okay, I'll print what? My total. I have it at 4. So please, if this is all what you can grab today, in Python we have our true as 1 and our false as 0. Okay, so in Python there are some keywords, and those keywords cannot be used as variables. You can't use those keywords as variables, as variable names. Please note that you can't use that as variable names. Something like, to get the Python keywords, you simply type help. Good. And in the help you type what? Keywords. In the help you type keywords and it will show you the keywords. So these are Python keywords and they cannot be used. I repeat, they cannot be used as a variable name. Other than the keywords, there are some words that have been reserved, some reserved words. They are called reserved words. So that's why in most programming language you see keyword or reserved word. Those reserved words are like a system function, inbuilt function that have been made by the system, by the programmers, and those functions cannot be used as a variable name. My module, for me to get it, I'll use module. If you just installed your Python, you use modules, and you see it's a lengthy list. I have a lot of modules, so it will take a lot of time. But in the absence, while waiting for that, I don't know if you have any question. If you have any question, you can drop it in the chat box. I think you can comment. You can make your comment in the chat section, and also you can contact us using any social media handle, using any social media site. We are on Facebook, we are on Twitter, we are on Instagram, we are on LinkedIn. So when you just search for @HAMPLUS, you will contact us. You can drop your message here. You can also contact us on WhatsApp. On our social media pages, you get our contact to get in touch to us on WhatsApp. So let me check back if it is done loading. It's still loading. I'm tempted to end up. I'm tempted to interrupt the process. But please, on your own, it will load faster. So for me to interrupt, I use my Ctrl C to interrupt. As keyboard interrupts, as Command C. So I've just interrupted the process. Okay, so I should be able to continue what we should look at today. Okay. Okay, let me get this. Okay, now still on Python, we have to understand this data set. Please, if you are new on Python, you can check our videos on Python. Please get to understand what is a list, and what's a dictionary, because most of the times we make do of list and dictionary in machine learning, in data sets. You have to understand what these two things stand for. If I have these names and I have James, McDowell, I have Cynthia, I have Paul, then I have a list, and this list is what we call it. I have a list. Then this name, if I want to get this as a type of name, you see that you give me a list. If I want to get the length, I'll say what length of name. It's 4 because it contains 4 items. What about if I want to get this? If I do this as a student, equals to this curly bracket, and I say okay, I say James is 30. I say Paul Paul is 28. I do this. What I have is a dictionary. If I do type of this type of students, it gives me a dictionary. So please, you have to understand these concepts. You have to understand it. Once you've understood list and dictionary, then you will be able to understand the structure of data set, the structure of a data frame, and many other things in machine learning. Okay. So at this point we'll be calling it a pause. We'll be calling it a pause. Please, if you have any question, please don't forget to contact us. You can contact us on social media using @Amplus Hub, or you can contact us on WhatsApp using +234 8050736053. Good. That's our WhatsApp number. And please don't forget, tomorrow again we'll continue on day 2, and tomorrow we'll be discussing about the data science, a little of data science, and possibly we're building our first model. We'll get a data set, an existing data set, then we'll use it to perform those processes in the data cleaning, in the data analytics, and from there we'll proceed to building our first model. Then we'll proceed that way. From the first model, we'll proceed to building our second model, just that way. We are going to build several models. We build linear regression, and we'll compare. It's not just about building a model. You build a model, you check the accuracy of the model. How well is the model performing? You check the accuracy, you check the recall, and you check the precision. It's not just the accuracy, but you have to check the recall, you have to check the precision. Yes. How well does it say the false is false? How well does it say the true is true? That is what you have to check. You have to check those things. Okay. So at this point, I'm expecting that tomorrow by 12 we'll commence the streaming. By 12 we'll commence the streaming, or earlier we'll let you know. We'll get in touch with you. And I'm so unfortunate that we never knew that over 100 persons booked for this event on the registration page. So we just extended the registration. All those that registered, all those that got the free tickets, we'll send them this link. Those that did not register, please do well by registering. Visit our website, Amplus Hub, Amplus Tech. Visit the website amplustech.com. Then you register. Once you register, then we'll send you information. We'll send you updates from the hub. We'll send you as many updates we have. So thank you very much for joining us. Please do well by joining us tomorrow. You can also inform your colleagues, your friends, those you want to benefit from this training, just inform them and tell them all they have to do is just to connect. Thank you very much. Do have a nice day and God bless you.